The following programming is sponsored by Marc J. Bernstein. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group. Entrepreneur, founder, author, and financial advisor Marc Bernstein helps high-performing business owners turn their visions into reality. Through his innovative work and the Forward Focus Forums, Marc connects entrepreneurs to resources that fuel their success. Founders Forum is a radio show and podcast where entrepreneurs share their journeys, revealing the lessons they've learned and the stories behind their success. Join Marc and his guests for a mix of inspiration, valuable insights, and a little fun. Now, let's dive in.
Good morning, America. How are you? It's a gray day in Philadelphia today, but I will tell you that the Phillies are playing great. So there's a little brightness in Philly right now. They're in first place. And all is good in the world for me in the summer when the Phillies are winning. So anyway, I have a guest here today, Shikha, and we were talking. We've gotten to know each other over the last few months. And we were talking offline about the concept of duality. And duality, when I think of duality, I think of the contradictions of life. Where there's dark, there's light. Where there's positivity, there's negativity. Where there's, all kinds of things. I actually think of golf also, because in golf, it's a game of contradictions. You take everyone thinks the harder you swing, the further the ball goes, but everybody knows that's not true. So it's a game of contradictions. So I think about duality a lot, but I know Shikha thinks about it in terms of entrepreneurship, which also makes a lot of sense to me. So Shikha, let's give us your thoughts on duality in entrepreneurship.
Hey, Marc. Duality to me is a very powerful concept. Lately so, because as I'm growing as a leader of a company, I'm seeing there's so much duality that exists in everything we do, the way we think about ourselves, our approach. And sometimes when people label you or you label people, you kind of get stuck in that image and you try to deal with things in a particular way. But if you slightly open up your mind and allow the other side to come through and find a balance, I think you can create magic. So to me, that's duality. I was asking ChatGPT, can you do a psychoanalysis for me? And it came back to me with saying, oh, you are a leader who values, who would prioritize impact over ego, or who can combine the hard metrics of business with softness of dealing with people, right? So to me, that was very interesting. That, that if you don't have to let go of something to be something. I think you can have it all. You just need to learn the art of balance and regulation.
It also helps with non-judgment, I think. If you recognize that there's duality, you're less likely to judge because you can see the good and bad in people, or the strength and the weakness, and right? You can see all of that.
I think words are very powerful. If we use it on us or others, it becomes a part of our existence. So if we are a bit careful and gentle and nuanced with the choice of words, it can shape us as a different human being.
I like that. It's great. It's wonderful. So let's tell you about Shikha Miglani, who is the co-founder and co-CEO of Saarthee, a strategy, analytics, technology, and AI company that empowers enterprises through transformative insights. With an engineering background and decades of consulting experience, she has led multi-million-dollar initiatives across industries, seamlessly bridging data analytics with business strategy. A strong advocate for the power of mentorship, she serves as passionate board member of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Shikha also sends Maite, am I saying that correctly?
Maite,
where she spearheads the collaborative development of AI-driven solutions. Also, she left this out of her bio, but she has founded an organization called Girl of Substance. And we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about that. So welcome, Shikha. Thanks for being here.
Excited to be here, Marc.
I know a lot of this, but let's tell the audience about your story. You come from India. You can talk about how you grew up a little bit, but what influenced you ultimately to get to where you are as an entrepreneur? That's the story we'd like to hear to start out.
Sure, Marc. So, Marc, I grew up in India, did my education, engineering. There was this involvement of maths and science in the family. My dad was, both my parents were, big proponents of education. We were in a small town, very humble, simple lives. But my parents were dreamers. I got my ambition from my mom, and I got my sensitivity from my dad. Generally, it's the other way around, but now that I'm talking to you, it's like, occurring to me even more clearly that she was the ambitious one. She was the one who would she was the one who would execute vision into ideas, and my father was like, he would have these ideas about what to do, and a lot of sensitivity, the lot of values I get is from my dad.
So your dad was like the visionary, and your mom was like the implementation person.
They both were visionaries, but my mom was more like she would take it to the end, she would want to. So the strength to really, see it in actuality is something she had, completely, which was a part of her personality. So, yeah.
Nice. So, and I think there were some entrepreneurs in your family as well. Didn't we talk about that?
Yes, my father's side, actually even my mother's side too, they had their own small businesses. They were entrepreneurs. So it was like and I would see them working late hours, having their shops open till 10. So I think my dad was the only salaried person in his family, and we broke that.
Right.
And then I did my engineering there, studied for some time. I was, I think, the first woman engineer on the shop floor. There were not many women. I think I was the first one. They were not giving me a job. I said, okay, I'm going to quit the job if you don't give me this. And back in those days, younger people, I was young back then.
Right.
So they were not, they didn't want to do the core jobs, But it was my love. My father, gave me that love for machines, engineering, and I wanted to pursue something which I, studied in, So they gave me shop floor. I worked there for 4 years. It was amazing, the most magical. I think it really hardened me up, being the only woman in the room most of the time.
Is this in India?
Yeah, that was in India.
In India.
Yeah, it was like I would travel to remote sites, set up, the designs that I created, face the crowd where, I'm the only, you just see it, right? You can't ignore the fact that you're the only woman in the room. But great experience, and then I worked there for 4 years, and then I came here for masters. Suddenly I got an itch to travel the world, just go to the other side and, do my masters. So after finishing up my masters, I worked again for some time. And then, me and my partner, always, we were very dreamy folks, ambitious. We were doing really well with our jobs, but there was something more inside us, more so in my partner, who was like, more ambitious than me, I would say. For me, ambition was across dimensions, but for him, it was definitely about, doing something.
This is your partner in business today you're talking about?
Yes.
Who, may we say he's also your husband?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
So I would see that, that he was never happy with, whatever he was doing. He wanted to do something more, and it kind of rubbed off on me, I think, in a way. But I was ambitious. There was a part in me, my mom's, DNA in me that kind of, immediately connected to that. So we would talk about, what we could talk about our dreams, ambitions. They're like seeds that you are creating. And then one day you sow those seeds when the timing is right, and you water it and you put fertilizer.
Yes.
And then that tree became Saarthee right now.
And did you start, I'm not sure if I know the answer to this, Saarthee in India and bring it here?
No, it was, Saarthee is founded in America.
Yep.
And yeah.
And so how did you get to that point where you decided to start that company?
So my daughter was born, and I was like, I was in between, I was taking a small break. So, and we had this, a clear idea of something doing of our own. And then my ex-employer called up and said, hey, I need your help. I said, I'm not going to get back because I've decided to be an entrepreneur. I decided to start my own company. So only if you register me as a vendor, I can come on board and do your work. And that's how we kind of, got into the first project and, my first paycheck for Saarthee.
Yeah.
And then thereafter, clients on his side, came in, and, there was this, a lot of, respect we had in our work. People respected our work, who we are. And we were, we had the ability to bring in technology and business together through analytics, right? So people just loved us. We really challenged the norm. We were like, so anytime there are companies around, there's always a room for newer companies, almost like a David versus Goliath logic,
Right.
People become easy when things go like, as you grow, but then we brought in this anti-establishment mindset, a new thought process to do things. So we grew very organically. It was all about work to us. We really, respected, we wanted to do a great job rather than selling all the time. And I'm so glad we did it that way. That way we found our own identity as a founder. as founders, we found, we were able to create a vision, understand the vision, create it and bake it so we can grow from there. Yeah.
In a few words, in a sentence, if you can do it, can you describe in an easy to understand way what Saarthee does?
Yeah, so I'll give a quick, I'll share a quick note on the name Saarthee. Saarthee means mentor, guide, trusted companion. It's a Sanskrit word which originates from a mythological war that happened many, many years ago in India between two brothers. They were two cousin brothers, and they both had the option to choose Saarthee or Lord Krishna, who was also the chief strategist, or a million-soldier army. So the brother who chose Krishna, Saarthee, won the war versus the brother who chose the million-soldier army. So the moral of the story is quality is better than the quantity. So if we have the team led by subject matter experts, we call Saarthee, you can really drive the business outcomes in a very strategic way. So we think of us as a James Bond, where we can wear the business suit, we can jump the trains, we can wear the business suit to speak the language of the business, but we can also jump the train and fix the bomb to do all the dirty work that is needed to be done with data technology and AI.
That's great.
So very, very premier, but not pretentious.
And for what industries? What industries do you work for?
So we work across verticals, telecom, media, real estate, retail, banking, healthcare, pharmaceutical. So we are vertical agnostic, and we have built solutions and results that have dramatically improved outcomes, saved millions of dollars for our end client.
One thing our listeners can't see, but they maybe be able to hear it, is that you have a wonderful smile, that you're always smiling. There's so much energy emerges from Shikha, and it's contagious. I can't help but smile when I'm talking to her. So hopefully you can hear mine as well. It's always a joy to speak to her. In building a business, we know it's not a straight line to success. There's a lot of challenges along the way, right?
It should not be a straight line.
It should not be a straight line.
That's the fun part, right?
That's the roller coaster, right?
Right.
So it's a roller coaster ride. So tell me a little bit about that. What kind of challenges did you face along the way that caused some bumps in the road for you, or some hills on the roller coaster?
For us, it was a very easy journey because people knew us and we believed in our work. We were enjoying every single day. Mark, there's not even a one dull day in Saarthee. That is a joy. Saarthee is the joy of my life because I didn't even realize how 11 years went by, and we have done this amazing body of work. We have innovated, products. We have created solutions. We have our stakeholders who have signed us up for, year after year, right? Our contracts renewed. The 5-star customer service that we have given to people is the most satisfying part. So it was very easy, but yes, there were the chores. You had to wear multiple hats. We started with one laptop, and then we had servers, and now we have a full-fledged IT, team working for us, right? So that was interesting. Being an entrepreneur, I think I would say you have to be single-minded. If you can, all the entrepreneurs love their work. I think all of them, if they're successful, they're single-minded. So just stay focused on the work was very natural to me. To other people, it may be a challenge, but I'm quite single-minded. I get obsessed about something. Right. And it kind of reflects in my professional life too. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't see it as a challenge. It was hard work. It was like sheer hard work, trying to prove your, worth and trying to prove your point of view. But I loved it.
So the hard work is really what was driving the roller coaster to a certain extent.
No, I don't know. It's a hard question because I never felt the challenges. But yes, sometimes when you are coming as an immigrant into a country and you are talking to the business leaders out there, they've not seen people who could also do strategy and analytics. Normally people would have seen us in the technology space. To have them, understand who we are was a little bit of a work, but it was not a challenge, I would say. For example, I was doing some training sessions and I had the option to keep my accent or copy the accent, of somebody who was doing it for years, a very fancy company doing it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So I created my own content, almost like a poem, and added, with my wonderful smile, like whatever you said just now.
Right.
And, I just put the content forward, right? Marry the content with the compassion, with the empathy. And people really take it well. It was a very successful session. People came and told me, hey, your sessions are so cool. They are really, they were the ones I was able to ramp myself up. But it was I had such an enjoyable experience attending your training sessions, right? So things like that, where you had the choice to be somebody else you're not, or the choice to be who you are. I would say embrace yourself. People love real people. end of the day.
And you have expressed to me that the challenge of being an immigrant and the challenge of being a woman leader in business right? I mean, this is, there's.
I think as women leaders, we always have to prove ourselves.
I know you've embraced it, but you have to prove yourself.
Always, when you enter a room, and I'm so used to it, it doesn't even bother me anymore. It has empowered me that, I walk in and people are not going to be sure what I do and whether I'll be able to do it. But don't listen to it. And I think it gets better. Then your body language becomes so different that people don't even doubt you. And things change at a certain point of life. I'm like 11 years into it, right? So I go into a meeting, bam, I know what to do. I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly where goes what. So that adds up and biases fizzle out. But yes, there'll always be a new crowd that has not seen something what you do. There are not many female founders out there. In fact, when I do interviews, young girls come and tell me, I have not seen a female founder. I said, okay, Mark, my day is done. This is why you should be doing your work, not just to make money, but also to inspire people in a subtle way, right? As simple as that girl carrying that image of a female founder, completely in her spirit and soul, right?
Listen, it's about confidence. So over time, you build a lot of confidence.
Yes.
And by the way, if you don't mind me saying, this show is a great example because you were a little nervous about how this was going to be. And say, I don't know how this is going to be, and you're doing a wonderful job. And with that, we're going to take a 1-minute break, and we'll be right back.
What's holding you back from your next big move? At Workshop Strategy, we're more than just advisors. We're partners in your success. We don't just hand you a plan and walk away. We roll up our sleeves and work alongside you to build a strategy that drives growth, strengthens leadership, and makes operations more efficient. If you run a medical practice, pharmacy, healthcare organization, or any healthcare business, we create solutions tailored to your needs and goals. We're here to help you take your business to the next level. Let's lead with innovation. Let's set bold goals, and let's achieve them together. Visit workshopstrategy.com to get started.
We are back on Founders Forum with our guest today, Shikha Miglani of Saarthee. And so we've talked a lot about the building of the business. I know you are a person with vision, like your mother and like your father. And tell me about your future vision. If this were 3 years from today, Shikha, and we're talking, what would have to happen over that 3 years for you to tell me, hey, that was a very successful period in our business and in my life? What would that look like?
Yes, Mark. So we have taken Saarthee to, a great place. Every day is like some new achievement. We are trying to scale it up globally. We are trying to solve newer problems. We are trying to be innovative, which comes very easy to us. So in 3 years, I would like to scale my company to newer heights that, I only imagined, for Saarthee. Before GenAI, if you were to ask me this question about scaling, I would say people. But I think with GenAI, the stakes, the game has changed, and you have to think about growth and innovation in terms of growth in terms of innovation. So if I can create very cutting-edge solutions, where I can really help my clients find efficiencies and find new ways to optimize their ROIs, I think that will be a success. And as I do it, I want to really, when I say cutting edge technology, I'm really thinking about, can we make India the Silicon Valley of the world, where so much innovation happens in the Silicon Valley of California, right? Can I create the same, I have the aspiration at least to have the same level of innovation coming from India. So that will be the true impact I can make on the technology. And that's my 3-year vision, Can I get there? I would love to get there. I know I can get there, but we have to work on it every single day, and we'll do it. I also want to make an impact. I think life should not just be about numbers. I think it should be about the number of lives that you have touched and impacted. So right now I'm on the board of Big Brother Big Sister. So it's happening very naturally. We both are like, Saarthee means mentor guide. Big Brother Big Sister is a mentorship organization. So we are helping them. We did pro bono analytics for them. We sponsored events. Now we are helping them find strategy into new ways to raise the funds and everything that goes along with that, And we are supporting them with our team in India. At some point, I would like to, and I think it's in the works, setting up my own foundation and creating purpose-driven enterprises. Encouraging my daughter, said that as you grow, find and, create purpose where you donate 100% of your profit, right? To non-profit. just run it like a business and donate 100% is another concept I would like to try from my impact perspective. And as a woman entrepreneur, I think being here is great. But if I can truly change lives through AI, how can we overcome this bias in AI, right? So for that, and that's why I created Mighty. I'm the CEO of Mighty, which is a collaborative AI, company where we collaborate with business stakeholders or people who know what problems to be solved, and we solve them along with it. But how can we unbias it from a gender perspective, race perspective? So that I think would be very meaningful to me. So yeah, my own business. I mean, everything is only, but my business, and then impact, social impact,
right,
that we are currently making, but even to a larger scale. And then how do I use AI to overcome the biases in the society and find some innovative solutions around that?
We missed one thing, which is talking about social impact through business, Girl of Substance. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. So, Mark, Girl of Substance is my first baby, business baby,
Right.
Even before Saarthee, I saw my daughter, she would enter into an elevator, and then there's a boy who enters into the elevator, and then this is America, and then they said, hey, your t-shirt is, you that's so cute on your t-shirt, right? You're so cute. And so everything would translate from what she was wearing, whereas there was a boy who had a fighter jet or something on his shirt, and they would say, hey, you want to be a fighter pilot? So just imagine a girl being bombarded with these messages
Right.
from day one, and then you expect her to go to Harvard one day and start doing things, right?
Right.
Why not to change that perception from day one when we can start talking to them, right? Start in the same way. So to me, there was a bias, and I was wondering if could happen in America. I can't imagine what could happen in India, right? And I think toy and clothing industry was very gendered. So it was my answer to the norm. It was my answer to the big folks out there that this thinking is very archaic, and we need to think new. So I founded Girl of Substance, which is a clothing store. In future, I see it as a media platform for girls to empower them. But when I founded it, it was all about creating empowering clothing for the girls, so they can envision themselves as future leaders, as future
So you sell T-shirts and things like that.
clothing. Yeah,
Clothing.
yeah.
And what's empowering about the clothing? What's different about it?
So there are many dimensions to it, but we are encouraging girls to dream big, whether it's STEM or arts or philosophy. So it's a whole philosophy. I don't want to just say STEM, because I think you can't just send a girl to a Harvard and empower them. You have to empower every core, every element of their existence, and that can only happen when we talk to them and when we converse with them, and we have the similar expectation as we have from a boy, right?
Yep, that's great. That was one of my favorite parts of your story, was Girl of Substance. So you, here's a question I like to ask you. What does success mean to you, Shikha, today? What does it mean to you today, and how has that definition evolved in your life over time?
Yeah.
So I know it's changed.
Yeah, so success, I have always been a A student. I was always a A student, very popular kid into leadership roles, house captain. Every time I was in that, I was never on the sidelines. So it was very hard for me to stay on the sidelines. But I was also seeing success through the lens of others, where they were applauding me. So it was good, but I think it was also limiting me in a way, how I wanted to be. And with Saarthee, it has liberated me. I don't do things because, people, for social recognition. I do things because I feel good about it. So success is when you can really, succeed, feeling good about it, right? And when you can take some chances with life, where you don't have to, answer to anybody, right? So to me, success is about, about this liberated feeling of, not losing yourself, rather gaining yourself, right? I mean, there's a dimensions to success. Money, revenue, yes, that's a part of the business that you don't want to lose sight of as an entrepreneur, but you don't want to lose your sight of who you are. So if you gain something, gain yourself, don't lose yourself in the process. That to me is true success.
Like marching to your own drum, like following your own path, and being who you are.
Being who you are,
Right.
yes.
I love that. And one other question. So if you were looking back, and if you could speak to your younger self, what advice would you give you? What would you do differently?
Yeah, be more confident. I mean, don't be scared to fail. I think when we are young And especially when you're doing so well as a student, or you were the favorite child of your parents really applauded you for everything you did. It was, as I said, I couldn't take failures that easy. But with time and with time I've kind of I don't care about it anymore. It's really about what I want to do, and failures are a part of success, right? And if you don't fail much, you don't discover new things. So yeah, I would tell that, but I think it's a journey we all go through.
Yep.
But I'm very comfortable in my skin right now to be whatever I want to do.
You seem very comfortable in your own skin. You're smiling all the time. I love that. We have another minute. I'm going to throw a couple surprise questions at you. What book are you reading, or what is your favorite book, or what book would you recommend to our listeners?
I could read Paulo Coelho all day, every day. He's very inspiring. So I just, my daughter gifted me on my Mother's Day. I don't know how she knew I liked the author. It's called The Fifth Mountain. So I don't know what's there in the book.
Fifth Mountain?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'll start to read that book. But I love Paulo Coelho so much.
Uh-huh.
It's, I believe that, life becomes what you want it to be. And there is so much power you have in yourself to shape your own life. And if you want something really bad, it kind of falls in your way, is the magic I still want to believe.
Right.
So, just something which can inspire me and uplift me, right? And make me think in a way I've never thought before would be a good book for me. Paulo Coelho always does it. I'll be open to new books. I would love to hear your suggestions too at some point after this.
We can talk afterwards. I think we're just about finished with the show. I think we're out of time. But it was wonderful having you here, Shikha. You might stay on for the next show we record today, and you're welcome to do that if you'd like. And we thank you all for being here on Founders Forum. And please listen to us again next week. Please subscribe. Please hashtag. Please get in touch with us if you have any ideas or if you'd like to be on our show. And with that, have a great day.
We hope you enjoyed your time with Founders Forum and that you found value to take with you throughout your day. Join us again next week for another episode of Founders Forum on WXKB 1039 HD2.